Over the years I have watched Candace take some positive stance on political matters, and I say I have agreed with her on most of her take. She is a nice and sane person, and one of the best moments I saw her was in her recent Valuetainment show where she held Chris Cuomo accountable, and indeed I am her greatest fan. But I have found her in error in her take on Israel. Now her take is understandable and it's loyal, but her take in this matter or manner will yield no fruit, because it is a take from an emotional standpoint. She feels sad about the loss of lives, mostly children, as a result of this conflict, as everyone must feel. And her take is that, because Gaza is suffering more casualties, then Israel is on the wrong. But that is not how war is defined. On October 7th, whatsoever the explanation may be, Israel did not attack itself. More than 1,000 souls were killed by the Islamist jihadist called Hamas, a longtime enemy of Israel whose mandate is to wipe Israel out of the map. What we have failed to forget is that Gaza has always been attacking Israel, and the state of Palestine has rejected several peace deals with Israel. Many may not know why, but biblical we understand that the Philistines will always be eternal enemies to Israel. Now yes, Israel has come to the point where they must fight for their safety, and their mandate is to remove Hamas. It is not the fault of Israel that Hamas have strategically placed their missile system in hospitals and civilian areas. Neither is it the fault of Israel that Al Jazeera has painted the narrative to make Israel look bad. But the war is simple. If Hamas will release the hostages of Israel and come to the table, then Israel will cease fire. But for now they are unwilling, and so Israel must fight for their people. Yes, casualties are there. But for a nation that has indoctrinated its citizens both young and old to hate the Jews, a nation whose people sing from the river to the sea, there can be no safety for the Jews until peace is demanded, since it cannot be negotiated. Now I cannot bring myself to lecture a smart person like Candace because she is smarter than me. But even the smartest people always have some loopholes, something they haven't really thought of and can be corrected. In a religious standpoint, we as Christians are commanded to bless Israel. God has promised that he will not forget Israel, Isaiah 44. And yes, while Israel is deafened towards Christianity, it is important to know why it is so. In the book of Romans 11 we can find that it was God that intentionally blinded them in order to have a chance to save us Gentiles. The Jews were blinded purposely by God for our sake. Only the blind Christians, who are not aware of God's purpose for the Jews, will speak against them. Now yes, some of the Jews may be hostile against some group of Christians, but this is being done under blindness. But once this Gentile dispensation is over, Christ will return to them, and they shall receive Christ. You can see Zechariah 12 verse 10. The Jews as a nation cannot accept Christ now. If they do, then we Gentiles will be doomed. So until God is done with the Gentiles, then Israel will receive Christ. Yes, there are many bad actors in the world who happen to be Jewish, but that does not mean that the whole Jewish race is evil, as God loves the race and will resist anyone who curses it. History has shown that any nation, any human, anything that rises up against Israel always meets a terrible end. And in our lifetimes and our father's lifetime, we have seen a rise in Jew hatred, most of them from good people who are acting based on emotion and propaganda. But we must note that whether we be Christians and are kind-hearted, God is not dealing in the same covenant with the Jews. He will wipe out from memory whosoever goes against the Jews, be it a Muslim, a deceived minister, or anybody. Israel, no matter her backslidden condition, still remains God's beloved. This piece might not reach you, Candace Owens, but if it does, remember I love you and I am sending this in your best interest. Feel free to check out my video on the destiny of the Jews and the Israel God's nation. He that blesses Israel is blessed. He that curses Israel is cursed. God bless you and keep you dear, Candace.